If and when Alex O'Connor converts to Christianity, it will be through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, through Mormonism. I promise you.
So if the rate of Christianity's growth is good evidence of its truth, Mormonism just became a whole lot more plausible.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Saints in the South, little solo edition here. Just out in the office doing some work and ended up working on the podcast, the show and stuff a little bit, and doing a little bit of research, and come across a recent video from Alex O'Connor. You may or may not be familiar with him, and I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction right here and right now. If and when Alex O'Connor converts to Christianity, it will be through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, through Mormonism. I promise you. It seems like he will eventually come around. He is extremely intelligent, extremely well-spoken, extremely well thought out. But I want to take the opportunity and just kind of share some videos with you. He's an atheist, but I think he will come around. So mark my words. Watch this. Let's check out some of his videos here. So even though Alex is an atheist, he's very pro Mormon theology, pro Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints theology.
The sociologist Rodney Stark estimates that in its first 300 years, Christianity grew at a rate of 40% per decade, from a small group in the 1st century to 3 million in the 4th century. That sounds pretty impressive, until you learn that this is the same growth rate experienced by Mormonism since its foundation in the 19th century. So if the rate of Christianity's growth is good evidence of its truth, Mormonism just became a whole lot more plausible. By the way, we actually have 11 eyewitnesses to the Mormon golden plates, whose names and written testimonies we still have today. 3 of those witnesses say that they saw the angel Moroni give Joseph Smith the plates with their own eyes. And even when they fell out with Joseph Smith and left the church, they still continued to assert that they had witnessed these events. We don't have anything like this kind of extant written testimony for the resurrection of Jesus, which we're about to get onto. But I just thought it was worth a mention.
Pretty interesting statistic. I had never heard of that, never known that before, that the rate and growth of Christianity was extremely comparable to the rate and growth of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as Mormons. So pretty cool. All right, our second video.
Alex, if you have to join one Christian denomination, which do you believe has the most consistency according to the history of the church and scripture? This is where Alex would have to pick a jersey.
Mormonism, of course.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
We don't consider them Christians. Give me another one.
No, well, that's the interesting thing is I think Mormonism's a fascinating religion in many ways. A lot of people aren't aware of its history and also of a lot of its doctrines and theological ideas and its different idea about like what God is and all of this kind of stuff. And the history of persecution of Mormons in the United States is pretty amazing too. Do you know, by the way, who the first ever?
So yeah, the host there, he was pretty flabbergasted, caught off guard, to hear him say that the most consistent church with the church that Christ set up in the New Testament was Mormonism, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. All right, this next video I'm going to share and going to pause it through some different segments and just kind of talk about it. So the title of this one is The Wild Origins of the Mormon Religion.
Presidential candidate to be assassinated while running for office was.
While running for office?
While running for office. It was Joseph Smith, founder of the Mormon religion.
Wow.
He was running for president at the time.
Oh.
While he was traveling out to Salt Lake City.
That's right. So they were sort of
Mormons might.
So just slight correction there. Joseph was not assassinated while the Saints were heading out to Salt Lake City. That was kind of the last straw there that forced them out to the Rockies there and found the Great Salt Lake there. So that was a little inaccurate.
Be honest, something, man. We gotta look into this.
Mormonism is
I don't want to get us distracted.
no, it's absolutely fascinating, man, because like it's such a wacky story, like the history of, and because it's relatively recent, it's like 1800s. Like there's more records. Like we know certain things happened, so we know that Joseph Smith claims to receive these golden plates. He's told by the angel Moroni, go and dig up.
So again, just watch how he talks about the history of the Latter-day Saints and the individuals that are sitting around him. You know, they'll kind of crack some jokes here and there. They'll laugh at some of the things that are said, you know, which is kind of normal and everything. But just watch his composure. He's always pretty composed anyway. But just watch how he talks about the Mormon faith here.
These golden plates. The golden plates exist because in ancient Israel, just before the Babylonian captivity, some Jews, some Israelites were warned, and so they fled and they built boats and they sailed to America,
Jersey.
and they had entire civilizations. The Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri.
Of course.
By the way. They have an entire civilization. There are like, I'm talking like Lord of the Rings, like battles and wars and societies and all.
And so again, listen to how he's talking and presenting this. He is stating it in a way that he believes it happened. He is talking about the record of the Book of Mormon as if it were true. Of course, we believe that. We believe that the record of the Book of Mormon is true. And the way that he is presenting it is as if he believes it himself.
This kind of stuff. And then the very last person, the very last Nephite, I think, I might be getting some of this wrong. I think this is actually the son of Mormon.
He's right.
But Mormon's the one who like puts it all together. So
Correct.
sort of writes down the record of his people on these golden plates and buries them.
Got it.
Because he's the last of his kind. And then Joseph Smith
That's right.
is in upstate New York, and God says to him, hey man, like
Big.
go and find these plates. So Joseph Smith has these plates, and they're written in something which is called Reformed hieroglyphics. So they look a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphics.
That's correct as well. It was written in Reformed Egyptian.
And Joseph Smith can miraculously translate them. And the way that he does it is not by looking at the plates, puts the plates aside. He takes his hat, he takes a special kind of stone called a seer stone. He puts the seer stone in the hat. He puts his head into the hat, and the stone starts glowing and translating what's on the golden plates. And he starts dictating. He starts saying it out loud.
Got it.
Someone starts writing it down.
Fire.
And he's the only one who can see it.
He's the only one that can see the translation. There are...
He's the only one who can see it glowing.
Yeah, because
Looking
he's
at
got
a
his head
hat.
in, he's got his head in the hat, right?
Yeah.
And you can
And didn't
see that they
he
have
never
the same.
showed anyone the golden plates.
There are
Again, so he's dead on with that. Joseph Smith uses the seer stone. He did place the seer stone in a hat and look down in it, and there the words appeared. I don't know that he translated it like that completely, but he did end up doing it that way a good bit. And here they're about to get in talking about the witnesses of the Book of Mormon. Pretty interesting here on how he iterates the witnesses of the Book of Mormon, the gold plates, as compared to the witnesses of the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
something like 11, maybe 13 witnesses to the golden plates.
Oh, there
Who
are.
actually, if you read the Book of Mormon, it opens with the testimony of the 13 witnesses to the golden plates. Apart from that, nobody saw them. But the funny thing is, it sounds really wacky,
Right.
but what I love about what Mormons can do is they go to Christians.
So the witnesses that he's talking about are the three witnesses, Oliver Cowdery, David Whitmer, and Martin Harris. And then there's an additional 8 witnesses. So that's 11 witnesses. And then you have, of course, the prophet Joseph Smith himself, which is a 12th witness. And then Mary, I cannot remember her name, but there is a 13th witness there. But there's only 11 in the introduction, and then plus the 12th, Joseph Smith.
This is the most ridiculous false prophet nonsense, whatever. And they're like, oh, really? So how many eyewitness testimony written accounts do you have to the resurrection? Oh, you've got none. You've just got a few secondhand accounts. Oh, because we've got 13 eyewitness signed, like affidavit, like written down testimonies of people who were still alive and were questioned by like the press about it.
Yeah.
And like even one of the guys who who swore that he saw the golden plates later falls out with Joseph Smith, is kicked out of the Mormon
But he's
church,
still
or
like,
leaves,
I saw them
but he
plates.
still says he saw the plates until the day that he
I
died.
love it.
Now there's some debate about this because one of them sort of says,
See, again, they're just kind of laughing about it, laughing about the story, but Alex never falters, never flinches here, and just continues pressing on, telling the story of the witnesses of the plates and the story of Joseph Smith here.
well, he saw them with his spiritual eyes, which kind
Ah.
of means it might have been a vision.
Yeah.
But then he's asked about that and he says, look, gentlemen, look at your hands. As truly as you see your hands, I saw
saw the
those
plates.
plates, right? So there's all of this going on, right? So Joseph Smith then like founds this religion off the basis of it. And they don't like being called Mormons because Mormon is the name of one of their I guess he's a prophet, but he's like the guy that collates the Book of Mormon. They are members of the
It's like
Church
calling
of
them
Jesus Christ of Latter-day
Islamist or something.
Yeah, or like calling them a Mohammedan probably is more similar, which is what they used to call Muslims because they sort of misunderstood what they were all about. But yeah, like they sort of flip and flop about whether it's okay to call them Mormons.
Yeah, so his comment there about the flip and flop. So he's right about that. There have been times in our past where members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the leadership at the top have readily accepted the nickname Mormons. Most recently, Thomas S. Monson. You may be familiar with the "I Am a Mormon" campaign, where members of the church fully leaned into. We had commercials out there. I am a Mormon. My name is so and so. I'm a Mormon, and I'm a careerist, and I'm a basketball player. I'm a machinist, or I'm a railroader, or whatever it is. We leaned heavy into that. That was up under Thomas S. Monson, and then later on up under Russell M. Nelson. That's when kind of the biggest shift took place, where the leadership of the church said, yes, you people may call us Mormons, but we are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And under Russell M. Nelson, the church really tried to move away from that terminology and the acceptance of the phrase Mormons, the nickname there.
Because it's a bit clunky to say member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
yeah,
It's called
yeah.
Latter-day Saint, right? But so Joseph Smith, they're setting up communities, and they're trying to find somewhere to like set up their community. So they're traveling around the United States, and when they get to Missouri, they cause such a problem in Missouri that there is something called, I think it's called the Missouri Executive Order 45 or something, otherwise known as like the Mormon Extermination Order.
Yes.
Which is where the governor of Missouri, based on some like inflated reports about what the Mormons were doing, gets so like worried and paranoid about them that he issues an order to exterminate Mormons, to drive them out of the land by force, which basically means that you could just like kill Mormons.
Yes, and that law in Missouri was on the books until 1970s. Somewhere in the 70s is when that law was finally taken off the books there. So I may fast forward here just a little bit.
Like go Mormon hunting because he wanted them gone. They were causing such a problem. Like in the United States, there was a law passed, an executive order that said we're just going to kill Mormons and drive them out of our land.
It's crazy.
White people.
I know.
Which is like
Yeah, that's not shocking for me.
That's light work. Right?
Black guy makes a joke.
it's just like
Nothing new for him, right?
You can tell.
like 1800s. It's crazy,
I
man.
agree.
You wouldn't believe. It's just wild.
Don't take us too far away from Jesus. I want to.
Oh, sure. Okay. But yeah, we can definitely get back to Jesus. But Joseph Smith eventually.
See, he says, yeah, we'll definitely get back to Jesus, but again, he really wants to drive home the point, the history of Joseph Smith, the Church of Jesus Christ, and the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. Pretty interesting to watch him talk about it.
So part of when he decides to run for president, part of his running campaign is that he wants to annex Texas. Mormon. Like it's anathema to them. In like the 1980s or something, they finally said isn't Illinois? I think that's
Missouri's
right.
like the third spot they end up, correct?
Yeah, they
Yeah, Illinois. He's talking about where Illinois or where Joseph was assassinated, and that is in Illinois, Carthage jail.
over the place, and I think Illinois is where he gets killed.
And I think they show a picture of it here in just a second.
Yeah. I mean, maybe okay, great.
They just kept getting kicked out of places.
Yeah, they keep getting
They're
kicked
like
out.
the Christian Jews.
Yeah, seriously. But this is the thing. So Mormons will say, Mormons will point out that they have a history of like persecution, and people sort of don't know about this. You know, it's.
I wrote a college paper on it. In my second semester in college, in my history class. My professor was not a fan of the faith, and I was a returned missionary, and so I was not afraid of the power of his pen. But he said that we had to choose any part of American history and to write a paper on it. And being a returned missionary, perfect opportunity to write about the history and the extermination order that took place there in Missouri with Governor Boggs. So wrote a paper on that.
It's quite amazing because I debate Christians quite a lot, and they talk about
I
how
think I got
amazing
an A
it
on
was
it,
that
too.
Christianity grew from just a small group of people to taking over the Roman Empire. And I'm like, the sociologist Rodney Stark calculated that in the first like 200 or 300 years, I think, after the
What he's
birth of
talking about here,
Christianity,
we're
the
talking
growth
about
rate that they
shared a very
experienced is
video
exactly
earlier.
the same. Like shut down the newspaper because he doesn't. You keep you fine, but just as a site of religious martyrdom. So you can now go to that prison. It's now owned by the Latter-day Saints, and there's a
Wow.
There you go.
there he is.
That's wild.
Big mob show up and kill him. So Joseph Smith becomes like a martyr, and that's that. And then there's your typical religious like succession crisis. Who's going to take over? I think there's a point where like I think it's Brigham Young who's giving a speech saying I should be the leader, and like multiple people report seeing him like transfigure into the likeness of Joseph Smith. There's all kinds of wacky stuff going on, right? And
That's true story. There are reports of that where Brigham Young appeared to look like Joseph.
yeah, like it sounds kind of insane, but is that any more insane than some of the Christian stories that we hear?
But it
you
was
know?
farther ago.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have this feeling.
So it's better.
Yeah, of course.
People sort of go like, "Oh, but that's ridiculous," as if God would appear to someone in upstate New York. That's ridiculous. It's like, well, that's how it sounded like God being
dudes in
born
the
in
woods.
Nazareth.
Yeah.
Like they
The
even
guy
say
in
in the gospel,
Galilee?
like people are saying in the Gospels, like, is this not Joseph's son? Is this not the guy from Nazareth? Does anything good come from Nazareth? They're saying the same thing.
They're talking about it like it's Staten Island. No, literally.
Yeah, they actually are. Yeah, seriously though, that's what's going on.
Why did Nazareth have a reputation of just?
It was just like a nowhere town.
It's like a fentanyl town.
The thing is, like the Jews are expecting a Messiah, and the Messiah, like there are different views on what the Messiah was going.
So anyway, there you go. He really just lays out. He takes the opportunity. He is outside the circle of Christianity, and so he is able to step back and look at all of Christianity: Protestants, evangelists, Mormons, Catholics, and he says that the Christians, Protestant Christians, will look at Mormon Christians and say how ridiculous the story of Joseph Smith is, and how asinine it is, and how it's just unbelievable, and it didn't happen. There's no way it could happen. And then he says, well, it's basically the same scenario with Christ and how Christian religion got started. Christ shows up claiming himself as the Messiah, as the Son of God, and just this regular carpenter that people knew, people knew of Jesus, the carpenter, and they were like, "Isn't this the son of Joseph?" I mean, how is he the Son of God? How is he the Messiah? There's no way. And so, fast forward over 1,800 years, and you have the story of Joseph Smith, and they're saying there's no way that God the Father and Jesus Christ appeared to you. There's no way that God is using you as his prophet. And the story of the Book of Mormon and everything. So mark my words, if Alex O'Connor converts to Christianity, it will be through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Y'all keep on striving.
From the south. Come on.